In today's video, we're going to talk about operational excellence. Now, I know that sounded kind of cheesy, so I'm just going to break it down and make it easy. Do your guys know what they're doing in the field? That's really what I'm going to get to, because when you give an estimate or a quote, you can literally Google this. An estimate or a quote is a guess. You are assuming the amount of materials that will be needed. Hopefully you're close, but you are absolutely assuming or guessing the amount of labor that's needed into it. Now, if you're in a contract, you're probably going to float it. You're going to bloat it a little bit. You're going to put some extra hours inside there because the guys get a flat tire. They don't have materials. They got to run to Home Depot, whatever variables you might have inside the project. But that's what it is. It's a guess. And the more efficient that you guys can be inside the field is the more profitability that you guys are going to make. So if you think having your guys show up to the job to see it for the first time ever and find out what's going on is a good game plan, I'm going to challenge you and say that's a really sucky game plan, because that's doing nothing but costing you money, because every hour that they're working there, especially on a contract, so I'm going to break this apart again, a contract is a set scope of work for a set dollar amount, which means the faster that you can get that scope of work done is the more money you can make. If you guys are out there and you have 10 hours inside the job and you get the job done in 6, let's hope you don't cut any corners and you do exactly what needs to be done. But ultimately, that 4 hours goes directly into profit. That's how you increase it. That's the entire key to the operational excellence side, is to be as efficient as possible. Now, how you get there is a process. Okay, so I'll tell you, it's a process. It's as simple as that. Who is doing the action? What is the action? And when are they doing it? It's those 3 questions. Now, I have this completely outlined in my program. So when you come in and you start working with someone within service alignment or sales alignment, what happens is you guys get a process. A lot of people tell me I don't have a process, and that's the furthest from the truth. You don't recognize that you have a process. But if you're sending an invoice, you have some type of process. Now, I'm going to stay specifically on operations, because what happens from the time a sale occurs to the time the job gets invoiced is all of your profitability. How well did the salesman communicate what the expectations of the client is? Because if he wants you to call 2 days before and you guys do not call 2 days before, and then you show up and he denies you, guess what? You just lost money. You just lost all of your travel time there, all of your setup time there for him to be able to deny you access to the building because you did not have a good operational process. Now, everybody here is probably raising their hands saying, yeah, I've been through that. Well, learn from it. Have an operational process. Have someone inside the office call your ETAs and confirm. I get that you may send them an email, but everybody might not be as great at emails as you guys are. So pick up the phone. You can text message. If you guys are a part of any type of operational program, I always call out Orkin or Terminix because they're great. They do an amazing job emailing me, telling me that they'll be out there next Tuesday. And then I get an email saying the tech is en route. And then I get a text message saying that the tech is going to be here. They do everything they can to make it as efficient as possible. And the reason they do that is profitability. The quicker that he can get to my house, perform the service that he needs, and leave is the more money they make, right? Because that's the more jobs he can hit. That's the more billing that they can do. If he had to show up to every single job, read the paperwork, call his boss, figure out where it was, define that he didn't have the materials he needs, run down to Home Depot, get the materials, and then come back, Orkin wouldn't be a company that they are today, and they would be a boatload less profitable. So it shouldn't be any different inside your roofing company. Figure it out, right? What is the action? When does the action happen? And who's doing it? Those are the 3 questions that you need to ask. So when you talk about getting a contract, right? So let's just say this morning, right? This morning is when we're starting the job. How are we preparing the crews for success? Are the materials set up? Do they have their own bay where they can come in and get the materials? Are they getting the materials on Monday and they're already on the truck, right? Then they start the day off at 7 a.m. They punch in for travel at 7:01. You're not paying for them to come back to the shop or drive to a supply house. All of that is lost profitability. If you want to be great at service, guys, there is a process for this. And this isn't even service. This is operations in general. What is the action? When does the action happen, and who is doing it? Those are the 3 things I'm going to encourage you guys to be able to ask. And if you can jot it down, get it on a piece of paper so you understand what those steps are, that is your first step to having operational excellence. If you guys have a different way of going about this, or you have some special way that you guys have just blown profitability out of the water, tag it inside the notes below. If you guys like what I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to it. I got a lot of people that are coming in, joining, and thank you guys. I'm doing this for one reason. As I was growing my businesses on the operational side, I struggled through this. I had to learn the hard way. I had tons of mistakes. And if I can just get you guys over one speed bump, closer to profitability or closer to that 1% of what is great, it's going to make you guys great. Thanks.